very special guest episode today at German Titans. And we welcome you, Mo, me, and our guest,
Dirk Breitsameter.
And we're going to start by my question to you, Mo. Why is Dirk a German Titan?
Why he is a Titan, yeah. You remember last time we discussed the characteristics of a German Titan, yeah. So, of course, the wording is a little bit heavy, Titan, but we are talking about someone who is kind, loyal, successful, respectable, and super there for his friends, yeah? Mm-hmm. And accepting me since so many years as a close friend, which is something I'm very proud of. So yeah, this is what makes him, in our classification, a German Titan. We are talking about successful stories, we are talking about examples that we want to underline, we want to focus on, we want to understand the hidden treasures, yeah? What are these people doing? What are their success stories? Because in my opinion, Dirk has a super successful story. It took me a while to understand his last name. Yeah, so normally I classify it according to my German teacher. So it's Breit and then Sa and then Meter. And so Breitsameter. So you can Google him as well for further details in this regard. But nevertheless, this is what makes Dirk Breitsameter a German Titan.
Yeah, so like you said, Dirk is your close friend, and I heard you met on a TED Talk, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, yes, he was on my right side in some...
I think it was the left side.
I think it's the right side. Now we know why we are friends, yeah? We cannot agree on anything, nevertheless. Also at this topic, yeah? So right or left, I believe it was right, yeah? And I met Dirk, and for the audience, we can start by saying or asking him, Dirk, who are you?
Well, first of all, thanks a lot for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm pretty sure that this will be the next podcast, like Tim Ferriss show.
Hopefully, yeah.
And so I'm really great to be here in one of the first episodes. Yeah, and yeah, well, I'm getting 50 in a few days.
Congratulations, surprise.
Yeah.
Big party.
Big party, yeah.
We are invited, of course.
Actually, you are invited, but you're not here. So I have to celebrate the second time. Yeah. And yeah, well, I'm getting 50, and we're here in the university, and I went to university as well. But some years ago, originally I'm a construction engineer, and I changed my profession to the financial services in 2003. Worked some years for a big German financial company where I learned sales, I would say, sales and financial basics. And in 2011, I founded my first company called Contentus. And what we do is private financial planning and some company pension and these things. And 2 years later, we founded the Contentus Vermögensverwaltung, so we are asset managers and have a license by the authorities. And we always try to be ahead of technology. So in 2017, we founded Minveo, which is fintech. Actually, when we founded it we started founding it in 2016, and nobody talked about fintech.
No, everyone does.
No, everyone. Actually, I think it went down again, but in 2016, everybody said to me, "What are you founding? What's a fintech?" And nobody knew it. So we founded it in 2017, and yeah, we took a road without external money, so it's completely bootstrapped. And yeah, we are in AI as well. In 2022, we created our own fund called Minveo One.
But this is, I mean, yes, of course, Minveo One and Contentus and all this super successful business model, but you are a Titan, yeah? And we are showing you to maybe friends from different parts of the world. They are going to see this episode, hopefully. And we want first to understand, now we are having the fruit of these successful stories. You are a CEO, you have 2 companies, maybe 3 companies. You are a CFP, which is a very, very difficult certificate to acquire. But let's take the start. Who is Dirk, the 7 years old boy?
The 7 years old,
Yes.
oh, that's a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I was always reading a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went to the library and was reading book after book after book, and I think this did not change till today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was not sporty at all when I was young. Nowadays, I would say it's okay. I love hiking.
Better not to do hiking with him. Yeah, I just did it once, and
It was a
that's
special
yeah,
experience,
yes,
I think.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Be careful about your boots,
Yeah,
about
yeah.
your shoes when
Never
you go
do
hiking
it.
with
Make
me.
sure it didn't
Never,
happen.
never.
I want to
No,
see it.
everything went good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a little bit longer than expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, when I was 7 years old, my dream always was to become a Nobel Prize winner. Actually, that's not on my list anymore.
Mm-hmm. Not attractive.
But actually, this is what I wanted to do, and I think I'm still very interested in always need new things,
Mhm.
and that's why I hear a lot of podcasts. So I really love to be here.
Yeah, yeah.
And hearing interviews, searching for personal development, and actually what's important for me is my friends. Yeah, I have very, very good, very close friends. You're one of them. And I'm
Luckily for you, or not luckily for you, it
yeah,
just
well,
depends.
at least I'm grateful. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but back to because this is as well. I was discussing this with Nana in before we start, and we are interested in this 7 years old boy again. Yeah, so you mentioned to me so many times that you were an IT nerd, let's say. So you liked computers
I
and
really I like computer. I had my first computer was a Sinclair ZX81.
Mhm.
I think I was 13, I think. So when I was young, there was no computer.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I had the Commodore C64, and I was coding assembler.
Mhm.
I think nobody knows this anymore, or
Mhm.
nearly nobody knows it anymore. And so I went from computer to computer, but actually I never wanted to study coding or something
Mhm.
something like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was more into the engineer perspective.
Mhm. But as well, this is Nana wanted as well to ask,
Yes.
and I'm just asking the question that you can say to me. No, I will not answer this.
Ah.
Dirk, the small boy, you come from a middle class family,
Yes.
and I'm grateful and I'm happy and that you are proud of this. You know. So the middle class. Do you think the middle class families are different now than in your generation?
I think that it was different at that time because I think when I was young, nobody had so many things like nowadays. So there was no mobile,
Mm.
and if you had a small computer, it was something special, and it was not about fashion and so on. So nobody really.
You
You
see?
just had a bicycle, an old bicycle, and you just went outside. Yeah? But I think what really changed is that nowadays, because of the mobile phones, children do not have as much freedom as we had, because my parents said to me, go out and come home when it gets dark.
Mm.
And in between, I was responsible for all the things that I did.
Mm.
So if my bicycle broke down, there was not the possibility to call someone. And
yes.
I think
Yeah.
this is something that partly got lost, because now my business partner, the school called him to get his son. Yeah, and 40 years ago, you could not call the parents. So
Mhm.
you were, I think the responsibility was much
Mm.
bigger than it is now.
Mm.
Yeah, and for sure also curiosity, right?
Yes, and curiosity, yes, definitely. And you just moved around and did some things, and nowadays it's so easy to get information of different value, I would say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But 30 years ago, it was much more difficult to find certain things out.
Yeah.
It was more adventurous, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I at least grew up with one of my parents being an engineer, and I always said, well, I can solve this, whatever issue it was, because I'm the daughter of an engineer, so I have to know. So we always had like these places where you can work on things, very hands-on, and that's also a question that I had. How did you come upon changing this direction? Like you started being an engineer, and this was kind of your world, and then you switched, or you evolved, let's say, to finance and being a financial planner. How did that happen? Like, did something change, or was it just?
Well, actually, after my university degree, I worked 4 years for a real estate company, and at that time, the real estate market was very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So if
it's always difficult.
I don't think it. I think it's now difficult again, but I think 4 or 5 years ago it was not difficult because there was the possibility just to buy something, and 2 years later you had a return of 20%. So it was, for a certain period, it was easy. And I think if that period would have been 20 years ago, I would be still in the real estate area, I think. So I would say the possibilities were not so good at the point. And on the other hand, I was building houses and so on. And it was very stressful because in the end, what many people do not understand, building houses is like prototyping. It's the same thing if you go to BMW and you say, well, I like your car, but I want the steering wheels 2 centimeters more on the left, and I need a bigger trunk and so on. And so you're prototyping each time. And you're prototyping with a lot of people who do not have such a good education. And so it was a very stressful time, and I said, I'm not sure if I want to stay into this construction area. And then actually I had 2 ideas. One idea was to do my PhD at the Fraunhofer Institute for wood construction, because I always liked wood. Wood for me is one of the greatest materials. And but when I applied, it was more like it went so slow that doesn't work for me.
Okay.
And the other thing was that I was thinking about working into the financial business, and I had some appointments of this with people in this area, and this went very well. And so I said, why not? In the end, the difference is not so big, because what I wanted to do with the PhD is to write reports about wood buildings. And now I write reports about financial situations, where the topic is different, but it's pretty similar in the end, because it's all data.
Okay, so you're good with wood and with numbers.
Yes,
yeah,
and good with wood and numbers.
And I think this is where Contentus started in Munich in this regard.
Not much later. I worked for this other company for 8 years, and meanwhile I did the certified financial planner, where I met one of my business partners. And so in 2011 we founded that company and started doing financial planning.
So what is, by the end of the day, this is maybe for Nana and Tom here on the back, what is financial planning?
Well, the financial industry, I would say, is 90% sales, and financial planning is exactly the opposite. Normally, financial planning consists of 4 parts. In the first part, you discuss the goals. So what are your goals for your profession? What are your financial goals? Do you want to have a family? Do you want to have a sabbatical? All these things. The second step is to make a summary about your assets and how much money goes in and how much money goes out. And then you use a software to make different scenarios for the future. So, and then one question is, for example, is it possible to retire with 55? Don't think it's a good idea, by the way, but that's perhaps a question for later. And in the end, the fourth part is to get some recommendation how you can optimize all these things to come closer to your goals.
Mm-hmm.
For me, financial planning is freedom.
Mm.
And I think it's wrong to put your idea of being happy 20 years into the future.
Mm. Mm.
For me, the question is how can you become happy at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, you have to have a look at the future.
Mm.
Yeah?
Mm.
And that's financial planning. So financial planning is about a strategy, and it's not about products.
Mm.
And normally, especially in Germany, the problem is if you go to a bank, in the end you get a kind of product, and you don't get a plan how to live your life.
Mm. Mm.
So, would
Yeah.
you say that this is your philosophy when you work as a financial planner?
Definitely. For me, the philosophy is very often people have much more freedom than they think.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, a friend of mine was in my office this week, and he was thinking about making a completely career shift, but he's scared to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we just did the very basic calculation on one piece of paper, and I said, X, I won't tell his name now,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the data, just do it.
Mm.
Where is the problem? You
Mhm.
can do it. There is not a big risk for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say what my passion is to support people to live their life.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, another customer, Marcus, you know him, he had two dreams.
Mm.
One dream was to travel the world for half a year to do a sabbatical, and the second dream was to own a house.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And in his mind, he had the restriction, I cannot do both.
Mm.
Oh, I see.
And I supported him, and I said, okay, do your sabbatical not from March till September, do it from October till March, so you have 2 tax years.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the sabbatical is paid by taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And actually there's a very nice video, and the video in the last part he writes, thanks for Dirk for kicking my ass to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, now he did the sabbatical, and he said for him it was a mind-changing experience,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a house.
Mm.
Oh, wow. That's
So
great.
you believe that it is the earlier the better, that all our audience and people should start to think about financial planning, but it's never too late, or it can be too late. If
Well-
I am 55, can I start thinking about financial planning? I am not 55, but maybe Nana is much more younger. Should she start, or she should wait, or is it something that we should pressure ourselves as a society or as a modern society to have and do at the moment?
I think it's much easier to do it when you're young, but in the end, when you're young, you can do it on a one page.
Mm.
Just save some money, put it into a cash account, start investing into a little bit in index investments and so on, and look at the costs. So it's not so difficult to do the financial planning process. For me, the most difficult thing is to be clear about what I want.
Mm.
And
Mm.
this is for me, this is the biggest difficulty to
Yeah.
to handle.
But for
Because
you,
as long as I don't know what I want to do,
yeah,
no
but this
plan
is-
will fit.
I have a question about this, but let's say to summarize this, what is for you a definition of financial freedom?
To do what I want.
Mm. So
and,
if
so you
number-wise.
see, actually that's exactly the point. It's not number wise, because for one person it's having 100,000 euro,
yeah,
and for another person it's 10 million.
yes,
So it depends on what is important for life. Do I need 6 Porsche? Or do I say, actually, I just go buy food?
Mm.
And so it's not a number, it's very individual. And before you ask if it's sometime if it is too late,
Mm.
I think it's too late if you're not fit anymore.
Mm.
Yeah. So when you're 80 something, you cannot work anymore. But we have a lot of customers who are 80 and still work, and then don't work for money. They just work for fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think, and at least that's my opinion, you should work as long as it makes fun. Yeah. And so I don't think it's too late when you're not healthy anymore, and then the problems.
This
then you
means
can get
it's
some
better to
problems.
own your health.
I would say the most important thing is to take care about your health, because otherwise, health in the end is also a factor of freedom. The lower the health you have, the less freedom you have. If you cannot go 5 stairs up without getting breathing problems, that's the biggest problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I think from my perspective as the younger generation that is also watching and listening to the podcast, there's a lot of fear of the future, and people have probably a different mindset when it comes to spendings or living their lives. I can see a lot of videos online where people say like, you're only 21 once, or you kind of have to, live now, and this is your philosophy. But then also you have to not romanticize everything all the time. Maybe you can, but when it comes to finance and numbers, you kind of have to be well clear about what you said, your goals, and you kind of have to have some realistic idea of how to spend your money right. And is there something that you would recommend younger people how to behave or how to get into this topic?
I think it's really important to educate yourself for this topic. And so if I will just compare 2 different customers. One was a friend of my assistant, and he did not earn a lot. And it was really, for me, it was mind-blowing, because he sells newspapers. He is tax class 3 because he has two kids, and he earns 1,800 after taxes per month, and he saves 600 euro per month.
Wow.
For me, actually, I still don't get it how it works. Yeah, because you have a wife, you have 2 kids, you need food, the children need a bicycle, and so on. And I have other people who earn 15,000 euros per month.
You cannot save anything.
And they don't save anything.
Wow.
So it's more a kind of mindset. And I think it's important to get the right mindset and to educate yourself, because normally with financials, normally you will not get really advice, because everybody wants to sell you a product. Yeah. And for me, for example, when you're a student, it doesn't make sense really to save for retirement. Yeah, because now, let's say as a student you have, just take, let's say 500 euro per month. When you have your first job, you have 2,000. So start with your first job.
Yeah.
Because now if you save 50 euro, it's really tough to do it. Yeah. And later on you can start with 500 without a problem. And everybody always talks about the compound effect. Yes, that's right. But if I start 2 years later with 10 times of the amount, it's not a big difference.
But this is the story. Let's say you mentioned back to Contentus. So this is the story of Contentus, and this is what you advise. But I think you advise clients and with a specific amount at Contentus.
Yes,
I think,
actually,
because this will lead us to the story of Minveo afterwards. So just to focus on Contentus at the moment.
So normally our customer invests at least 250,000. So this is normally the minimum.
Yeah.
We don't have such a fixed restriction, because in the end, if somebody has 100,000 and earns a lot of money, that's fine too. But normally the kind of consultation that we give is not possible for lower incomes.
But you give a mindset, and you mentioned the mindset, and so we were looking into Contentus website, and Nanette or Nana just asked me, is it only about money? And we prepared this question as well. Is it about the mindset of money, or you can as well touch personal issues with your clients? For example, if you see that my partner is not the right choice, for example, are you allowed, or do your clients expect you to say, listen, give me a perspective if I have a wrong marriage, for example, give me a perspective if I don't know, the birthday, the gift of my son was 50,000 euro Harley Davidson. Do you have this space? And if this space is accepted or not? I know we know each other from personal perspectives as well. Dirky did not like former partners of mine, and likewise was in a certain period of time. Now I am super friend with his current partner. Lovely person. I really appreciate her and I like her because she makes my friend happy. So
Yeah.
so this is the thing. So but this space, if I am doing a financial consultant and I am terribly doing things completely wrong on my personal perspective, are you permitting yourself to dig deeper?
Well, actually, we are not psychotherapists, but if I look at their long-term relationship with their customer, and I would really call it relationship, because we are very close, and sometimes we even know things that their partner does not know. And so normally the conversation after several years is, I would say, 20% is about financials, and 80% is about
Personal.
everything that's around and it's personal.
Yeah.
And so, for example, in 1 year I was invited for 6 weddings in 1 year, and
That's a record.
it's really record.
Yeah.
Yeah, many broke up.
That's
But
sad. That's sad.
this is, and actually, you see, this is, for example, for us, that's a difficult thing if a couple breaks up, because we have to
Deal
support
with both.
of them.
Yeah.
So normally we split it that every partner, so the couple gets two consultants at this thing, because we have to be neutral. And that's, for example, that's not so easy. But the conversation is really a lot about personal things. It's about dreams or problems, health problems. Yeah, we have a lot of customers with cancer and these things. And actually we cannot help them at that point. What we can do is that they say, okay, if you die, your family is protected. You have your last will. You have organized everything, and so we try to take some pressure from them. That's what we try. Yeah. But in the end, the financial things, the products and so on, it's just a tool.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm very, I want to point out as well to our audience in this. So back to the partners. So the right partner, choosing the right partner is part of your financial stability and financial success and financial security.
Yeah, but we don't give advice here.
Okay, now I want informally for the German Titans, what is not a good partner, but what is an appropriate partner for a financial success?
I don't think that's the right question to think about financial success with your partner.
So you have to think it alone.
I think I didn't get your question.
So if I'm now, I'm telling you, okay, I need a partner who is going to be with me in the journey of the financial success, because a partner as well can make me lose everything. Yeah. So if I tell you, give me characteristics, traits of the right partner from a financial perspective.
Difficult question. Never thought about this.
But I mean, from so many examples, and we know in our network so many examples about success and failure. Yeah, you choose someone who is succeeding with you in this nice trip called life, and you see someone who is just pulling you down, men or women. Yeah, so.
Well, I think most people lose money because of themselves and not because of their partner. So.
Now I'm single. Tell me, if I want to choose a possible partner in the future,
Don't think about money.
Yeah.
I don't think about
Don't
money.
think about money. Yeah. I think that's the wrong idea.
So someone who spends a lot, for example, someone who likes luxury vacation, someone who like...
Well, actually, I think in the first place, I think the most important thing
I
is
think you
that
have to stop being more diplomatic than this. Yeah,
No,
so you can say it.
I think the most important thing is, and this is not only for financial, this is for all topics, that you can talk about these things in a relationship. So for example, if you have the feeling that your partner spends too much and you cannot talk about it, then it's a problem.
Then it's a good trade. So talking about the financial, let's say, spendings and so forth. This is
but I think this is important for all the things. Yeah. So if your partner is pissed because you didn't care about the garden, like that was something I did. Yeah. The most important thing is just you can talk about it and that no one is pissed afterwards. Yeah. And I think, but this is actually this is important for financials, and for a lot of couples this is a problem. Yeah. And very often you have the situation that one person earns a lot of more money than the other one, and nevertheless you should be able to talk about it. And as long as you can talk about it, but as I said before, it's not only about financials, it's about vacation, it's about intimacy, it's about everything. Yeah. So I think, so when I look at at my error handbook, what I did wrong in former partnerships is that I did not talk enough about all these things. But I don't think this is financial wisdom. I would more say this is wisdom of life, I would say.
The wisdom of life, maybe Nana has...
I wanted to change the topic for you, to give you a bit
because
more
this is a men talk.
No, not because of that, but because I wanted to come back to something that you said earlier about selling problems, and that you're not this kind of partner in the relationship with your customer, that you are actually a good person, in my opinion, when you say it like that, to help them have a better life, like you said in the beginning.
That's definitely, at least that's my goal, yeah.
And do you think that's like typical trait for people in your industry?
No.
No,
right?
Not
at all. I would say 99% would say you should save more money, you should buy this product and so on. But for me, this is the financial planning perspective, and actually in the United States it's much more common than here. Because in the end, if you die and if you have 1,000 euro on your bank account or 100 million, it's just a number on a bank account.
Yeah.
And so for me the question is, was it a successful life? And successful life is for example, at the moment I'm coaching another entrepreneur, and he said he has a person that he liked very much was his grandfather, but he was not successful at all. He did not earn a lot of money, but he was always a very happy person because he liked the small things every day. And I said to him, why do you think he hasn't been successful? So in our society, the definitions of success is very often money.
Dollar signs.
Dollar signs, your car, your house.
Yeah.
I think that's wrong, because in the end it is what makes you happy.
Yeah.
For example, I really love to travel. I really like to travel. But if I look at the greatest experiences, it never was about money. It was about drinking a beer with a foreigner for $10.
Yeah, true.
And so actually, as I said before, I don't think this is typical for financial business, but I think this is the right perspective, is to see it from becoming a happy person.
I
Having
think
time
that's
with
great ethics. I mean, I wanted to ask about that, but you kind of answered it already. Because it's, let's say, from my perspective at least, a kind of shady business sometimes, and money is very emotional, I would say. So it's hard, like you said before, for people to actually be able to separate their lives from their earnings, or as we call it, Leistungsgesellschaft. We always want to go higher and further, and this gives us self-confidence, which is great. But then does it make us happy? Like, is it, I would say, sustainable happiness? So for me, there's a difference, and I can say it better in German because I don't have the English word, is glücklich und zufrieden. For me, zufrieden is a much more
Happiness
sustainable,
and being satisfied.
Yes, like sustainable state, and like you said, you can find it everywhere. Like you can go outside and look at the trees and,
exactly.
and be very happy. And I think this also answers your question a little bit.
No, I just want to get over his nerves a lot. This is what the thing.
Well,
So I'm back. I am back. To partnerships. So
Careful about the 5 hours.
Yes. We can tell to the audience what is the 5 hours rule afterwards.
By
and
the
Annette
way,
does not know it.
5 hours, whatever, but we have time constraints, so
Yes.
maybe we can just have a few more questions when it comes to AI or your current.
We just tackled the issue of the partnerships and the right partner for the right financial success. And in my opinion, and as well, I agree with Dirk, it is a complete holistic project called life, including the financial aspect, which is very important. But I won't pressure this point anymore. Nevertheless, I hear sometimes stories that the one partner want to get bitcoins, and the girlfriend or the boyfriend, whatever, say, no, you are crazy because we are losing our money. Bitcoins are going to be into zero, and then after 2 years said, I could have bought bitcoins because when it was 10K, now it is, I don't know, 500,000. You made me lose money, and this kind of discussions.
Actually, if I look at our customers, we have this very rarely. Because if somebody is looking for someone who's coaching them, I would say 80% of our customers are not interested in this topic at all. And then normally, if you have a couple, I would say in 90% of our customers, only one person of the couple takes care about the financials, and the other one is not interested at all.
Lucky them.
So actually, the fights about these topics are pretty rare. What is a bigger problem is that the risk tolerance is very different. So for one person says if the market goes down by 50%, that's great because I can buy for a good price. And then we have customers, if the amount of money goes down by 5%, they cannot sleep anymore. And now the problem is, if you have a couple and they have the same asset allocation, there will be fights. Yes.
This is what is very.
But actually, it's rare. But I think it's rare not because it's rare by society, but these people, where both of them really took care about these topics so much, they don't go to a consultant, they do it by their own. Of successful or not, who knows? I would say the biggest enemy for success is the greed. Many people are greedy, and these are the things when people lose money. So rule number one, and it's not from me, it's from Warren Buffett, is don't lose money.
Well, he's a great example of not losing money.
He's a great example.
I agree.
So we can all look up to him. Maybe coming back not just to the overall communication topic, but also how the industry changes, how your not just the relationships with your customer, but also with the company that you're in, the position that you're in, what
the
you're
companies.
Yes.
Lots of money. You never finish money.
How do you implement new technology and like AI? And is there something you can recommend people to not be afraid of this topic, for example?
So where you can let us know, for example, the story, the development from Contentos to Monveo. Maybe you can give us some.
Well, actually,
insight.
I love technology. I use Android, I use iPad, I try to use different things to see what's possible. And so our most technical company is Monveo. Actually, the starting point was that we said, okay, if you can invest 2 million, actually there's a possibility to find a good consultant. That's not such a big deal. But if you have 50,000, you will end in the fingers of a salesman. And normally the advice is, let's say, of different quality. And so our idea was to bring professional asset management to everyone. And actually we did it. So it's possible with investment of 50 euro. In the end, to tell the truth, to invest 50 euro won't make a difference for anyone. But we just did not want to have a hurdle to invest into these things. I think all these things will really change a lot in the future and much faster than we can imagine at the moment. We started with this algorithmic system in 2017. I would say nowadays you would call it AI. At 7 years ago, no one talked about AI, but I would say it was a kind of AI 1.0 to reduce the risks of the investment. And now for 3 years we did some research projects to use AI to make stock selection. And we went live with this thing on the 1st of July last year. So I think I have pretty good insight about using deep reinforcement learning for asset management. And I think we are in the most interesting period of time that we've seen. We have no war, so in Europe unfortunately we have war, but not here. And we are moving, we have a kind of exponential situation, and I think the problem is that nobody can imagine what will be possible in 5 years. Nowadays we use ChatGPT like it was there forever. And 2 years ago, if somebody would have told us you can enter a computer prompt, create a picture of 3 people sitting in a room with a wooden table with microphones and so on, everybody would have said that's science fiction. And we have a kind of exponential growth. So the question is, if something like this is possible in 2 years, what is possible in the next 2 years or in the next 4 years?
Yes.
And I think we will see a very, very big shift in all industries. But actually, I don't see it that we say that AI will replace all the human workers. I don't see this. I think, for example, if you look at chess, who's the best chess player in the world?
Probably
Not
a younger person.
Actually, the funny thing is, it's not a computer program.
Yeah.
It's not a human. It's a very good human player using a computer.
Yes, I get it.
And so they have the highest ELO points. So they are not super professional chess players, but they are very good chess players, and they use computer technology to support it. And so I think jobs will be replaced by humans who know how to use
the machine.
AI.
Yes.
And there definitely there will be some jobs will vanish. But just go 20 years back. If you wanted to book a flight from Munich to Rome, you went to a travel agency.
Yes.
And now everybody does it by its own.
Have a big one with small papers and copies.
Exactly. But now if you want to book a special trip to South America or something like this, many people won't do it on their own because it's complex. So I think the level of complexity that can be replaced by AI is much higher than it was before. But there's always a level of complexity where I think the combination can lead to success.
Yeah, and I also have this picture in my head that supports what you just said, and it always reminds me of course, on the one side, try to really stick to it and evolve yourself to understand the technology that's coming out. But on the other side, to always know that AI learns from the past, and we can have a vision. Like, we can look in the future and we can build something inside our heads, and then we can use technology, like you said, to support it. And I think one thing that I'm always wondering is, because you said you are having this algorithm that is able to predict certain things, or you can at least make informed decisions by it. But is it not I think it's not possible to learn from the past, right? When it comes to the stock market, not really.
I don't agree. I think
That's good. I'm happy you don't. I wanted to hear that.
But first of all, the effort for our first algorithm, let's call it AI 1.0, was not to beat the market.
Mm-hmm.
It was just to reduce the risk.
Okay.
And I would say till 2 years ago, for a normal private investor, it was not possible to beat the market by return. If you, for example, look at the SPIVA studies by Morningstar, if you look at investment funds that invest worldwide, in the last 10 years, 98.5% did not beat the benchmark.
Mm.
So just around 1 from 100 was better. And I say, I cannot predict the future. I can tell you which one it was for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know which one it will be for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was possible to reduce the risk with technology.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, if you go back, for example, how did Warren Buffett start? Warren Buffett ordered the yearly statements from the companies.
Mm-hmm.
So each, I think the UPS driver didn't like him very much because he get kilos of reports every day. And in the 1960s, it was possible to beat the market by reading the reports.
Wow.
Nowadays, if a private investor thinks he can have any advantage by reading these things, that's history.
Yeah, okay.
And I think at the moment there is the possibility to use AI to create models to beat the market. I think there will be a window of opportunity for the next years.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure that this window will close in, let's say, 5 to 10 years. I don't know, because everyone will use it.
Yes.
And it's always, if you have a new technology, you have for a certain time frame to have a benefit.
Yeah.
And if everybody uses it, it's the possibility is history.
But usually then you already have a new one that
Hopefully.
So,
when you stick to it,
you are the
ahead.
tech freak all the time.
Yes,
But nevertheless, both of you, I'm out. Nevertheless, I mean, we spoke about technology. We spoke about Minvio, which is a brilliant, let's say, platform idea, and it was really 2017. No one was speaking about AI, and Minvio was there. But nevertheless, I mean, the audience can check this, and this is information that are available. But this is back to the Titan private things.
Okay, last question.
Private things that are not available. Yeah. Sometimes I send you an email. Where is Dirk? He is only working Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you are walking from Germany to Italy, or doing a hiking trip, or doing a sailing trip, whatsoever. How it's incredible how you can do a great balance between work and life, and how you can even enjoy your life and having lots of free time. How can you manage this? Considering that you have millions of asset under management, not like me, I have nothing, for example, but nevertheless you have millions of asset under management, you have 3 companies, you have your own employees, you have, and sometimes you say, today it's a good weather, so bye, I'm going to the beer garden at 12 o'clock at noon, and then I'm going here, I'm going there. How do you do it?
Unfortunately, that's rare. Yeah.
How do you do it? How do you do this perfectionism in work life?
Well, actually, I really have to commit that at the moment my to-do list is much longer than normal. So I should work for some extra days now at the moment. But you said I'm a computer nerd, and I would say I'm a productivity nerd as well. So I really read every article about productivity for years. So if you see me at the computer, I use auto text, I use shortcuts. So I really optimized a lot. I think what I can do is that I work with a lot of concentration. So I would say that in 3 hours, I do the work that many people do in 6 to 8 because I try not to be disturbed. I put my phone in flight mode and so on. So I really try to improve my productivity. But I did a big mistake because I improved my productivity and I took the work from others.
Oh,
So I filled up again my time and so I think this is one point, and I think another point is the big advantage that I do have is in summertime no one of our customers wants to talk about financial things. So normally our most busy time is after Oktoberfest till the beginning of December. In these 2 months, I would say we have 40 to 50% of our appointments. So this is the busy time because everyone wants to check mark something that's on the list till the end of the year. Yeah, so in the summertime, yes, I have more flexibility. Yeah, and I think I'm pretty good organized.
Yeah, and also what you just said, I can very much resonate with deep work. I think we all know it, that when you are able to actually organize yourself in a way that you can do what you just said, like focus on your work for a certain amount of time, it's such a skill and also an advantage.
Delegations and
and also because of the fact that when I look at the studies of younger people, how they are not able to focus anymore for a longer period of time, and their brains are just constantly disturbed or distracted, it takes away so much of the time you could save to then live your philosophy, which I feel that you do. You live what you preach, that you actually have the ability to go out in the mountains or walk to Italy.
We have to admit,
like
I mean, the usage of technology, of course, in productivity, tips and tricks are very important, but we have to admit Mr. Breitsameter is talented in this, So this is the thing. I cannot imagine someone with these amounts of money, with these responsibilities and whatsoever, that's shutting down, and he really shuts down. You see, it is not like this. Only for friends they can reach him. But you have the auto reply, and I'm not there, so that's it.
But Mo, I think it's also a thing that I have for some of our customers, we are proud of the family, and they know what I do. For example, in 2021, I hiked from Munich to the Mediterranean Sea. This is a running gag between of us.
That's very, very important.
Great.
If I say Mediterranean Ocean, he kills me.
No.
Yeah.
Sea.
No, it's the Mediterranean Sea. So I walked 3.5 weeks from Munich to Trieste. And actually, I had an auto reply that I don't answer the emails, and I had the telephone number from our office where people can call. Actually, I checked the emails every second day, and within the 4 weeks, I had 2 urgent emails. Actually, in both of these emails, I reacted, but both of them called our office. So actually, it wasn't necessary for me to do it. That doesn't mean that I do not have to do anything for 4 weeks, but I would say 80% of my customers, they knew that I was walking, and they did not want to disturb me. I was writing a blog, and I think they were reading the blog, and normally the thing
commenting
is
with questions.
that financial questions are not urgent very often. So if you have 500,000 euro on your bank account, and if you take care about it today or in 2 weeks, it's not such a big difference. So I wouldn't say that that's possible for every job.
And the question is it really urgent or is it important? Because there's a difference for me.
If you are a doctor, for example, and you are responsible for patient, but again, I mean, it's a talent. I do understand. If I have an input, if I put myself in his shoes, and I have a client who is, I don't know, having 100 million, and he's saying, okay, I need a call. I would. This is me, but Dirk is completely different. I would answer him immediately, but he's just putting him in auto reply.
All right. I think you can discuss this.
We can argue about it. So.
I think we're done.
Dirk, we have a voice for in the German Titans for diversity. We are, of course, against any kind of extreme thinking, of extreme behavior. I really liked it, and this is the thing that I want this stereotype to get less and less and less and less. So. My name is Muhammad, and I got introduced to you as a super Munich Bavarian on my right side, or not my left side. And we became friends, and this, let's say, small, tiny bits and pieces here and there that are happening in the society is, in my opinion, they are all exceptions, they are all incidents that are not by any means true. Germany is open to everyone. Germany is a country which is accepting immigrants that are productive and are contributing into the economic success of this great nations. Yeah? So we want to voice this all the time. Sometimes we have guests from a non-German origins, but we are very, very honored and happy that you are in this first session of the German Titans. And thank you for being with us, and maybe Nana and TomTom is going to say hi.
You mean to say hi or to say bye?
He's saying hi and bye, because he did not say hi.
Yeah, I think what Mo wanted to say is that we are having this initiative that we want to include. And I don't know if you want to ask something about the initiative.
We're just underlining all these initiatives, and it is a voicing. Yeah, we just put a very, very high voice against all this kind of behavior that are not and will not be accepted in the society.
Yeah, just using the platform.
Yes.
All right, and thank you so much for coming and for the great insights. I learned a lot.
I'm looking forward to have you again.
Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure to be here. Yeah, and I would still appreciate the kind of random show. You know what I mean?
Yes. Now we have to discuss it. Yeah. I think everyone is curious now.
Yes, me too.
I just can agree. If I just look at my friends, it's super international, and I have my birthday party, if you know, and a friend of mine asked me, what is the similarity between all your friends that will come? And I really had to think about it, because it's completely different background, different. My girlfriend is born in Brazil, and it's really a complete mixture, different education and so on. And I was thinking a long time about it, and I said, they're all nice people. They are all nice, good people, and that's it. And so be nice, be nice, be kinder.
Everyone should be nice and kind to everyone.
Well, that would
this
be
is being
amazing.
The beauty of being human.
And then they can be titans.
Of course. So looking very forward to the upcoming Titan, and this is the hi from TomTom. TomTom. Hi.
Thank you.
See you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.